Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Tikvah Israel. My name is Michael Amster. I am a member of Tikvah Israel and a member of Focus. We're a member-driven organization that presents music and gives you an opportunity to get up close and personal with some truly world-class entertainers. I'm going to turn this over to Chuck Morris in just a few minutes. Let me get away from that speaker. That's what's causing that. So sorry. Just real quickly, if this is your first visit to Tikvah Israel, we certainly hope it won't be your last. Focus's website is focusmusic.org. You can find a complete list of our future shows there. Should we need to evacuate, we have exits on this side of the room as well as the entrance that you came into. I certainly don't expect that's going to happen, but you should be aware. And now I'm going to turn the floor over to Chuck Morse to tell you about the people who are actually you came here to see tonight.
Thank you, Michael. Are you folks all as excited about this show as I am? All right. I've waited a long time for this. I just want to thank you all for coming out. I want to thank you all for coming here instead of staying home and watching the Oscars. I want to congratulate you for setting your clocks correctly this morning, that you're all here on time. People straggle in the next hour or so, you will know why, okay? Anyone here to see James Keelaghan for the first time? Okay, wow. Any of those who raised your hand, were you brought here by a friend who knew you were going to enjoy this concert? All right. They were right, okay. James has been one of my favorite songwriters for a very long time. Some of us backstage were trying to figure out when we first heard him. I think, one of the best songwriters in North America, okay, Canada and the US. Nobody does things as well as he does. He has a wide variety of topics that he writes songs about. I couldn't begin to list them all, but he has written love songs and songs about hockey and horse racing, A Dog with Blue Eyes, and many, many, many other kinds of song topics. But he's most noted for his songs that tell stories. And nobody does that better than he does. A good storytelling song draws you into the story, makes you feel like you're there. And one of the ways that's done is to write the song in the first person from the point of view of someone who was there or could have been there at the time. And he does that very, very well. Just as a couple of examples, if you listen to one of his songs, McConville's, you will be transported to Northern Ireland, to a little pub in Portadown on Mandeville Street in County Armagh. And if you try to buy a bottle of whiskey to take with you, the bartender has a story for you. Okay? When you listen to Cold Missouri Waters, you'll find yourself, excuse me, in a hospital room in Missoula, Montana, early January 1955, at the bedside of 39-year-old Robert Wagner Dodge, who's dying of cancer. But before he dies, he wants to tell you his side of the story. About 5 years before, he survived the Man Gulch forest fire when 13 of his fellow firefighters did not. I'd say I could go on and on. There's a number of other really good examples of what he's done, but you don't want me to do that. And I don't want to do that for the same reason. I want to sit down here and I want to listen to some really good songs. So please welcome James Keelaghan and David Woodhead. There he is.
I don't have to do a thing now. It was a long, hard ramble, an endless roam by a twisted road. I came back home, but the town I loved was there no more. Gone now the things that were there before. The hills I roamed when I was small, covered by houses and shopping malls. All the talk was buy and sell. We thought living high was living well. Thought they were living well. My mother and father are both now gone. Brothers and the sisters, they are carrying on, trying their oars in different waters, looking out for their sons and daughters, turn their hearts to the days ahead. Used to think of themselves, but now instead we think of the things our parents taught us. They said, blow, blow your winds of change, knock me down and I'll rise again. Come, come, the gathering storm, trust in love and do no harm. Live it fearless and live it proud. Tell the truth and don't dumb it down. Don't bow down to the powers that be. They wouldn't have power but for you and me. And if the times ahead get rough, don't ever cry hold or cry enough. Just remember the things your parents taught you. Said, blow, blow your winds of change, knock me down and I'll rise again. Come, come, the gathering storm, trust in love and do no harm. Yeah. So blow, knock me down and I'll rise again. Come, come, the gathering storm, trust in love and do no harm. Thank you. Thank you very much. Glad you could be here. Last show on a tiny little trip down here over this weekend, head back up to Canada through the snow. Thank you very much for putting that on for us. This is that was a song called Gathering Storm. This is a song called Secondhand. It's the title track off the new CD. I wrote it with my friends Kara Luft and J.D. Edwards, The Small Glories. And we wrote this song about back when we used to be able to tour, back before the pandemic happened, and we were touring a lot more. We're getting back to it now, but we were veritable globetrotters. And one of the drawbacks to that was trying to describe to people back home what it was you were seeing. and trying to get them as excited about it as you were, which is really hard. One of the last trips I made was over in Europe, and it was in Denmark, playing a little town called festival in a little town called Tuna, and had an afternoon off. Went and spent the afternoon in a fantastic museum of Danish furniture. Yeah, that's sort of what I'm talking about. Hard to explain how fantastic a museum of Danish furniture is to people back home. And then the next stop was down in a little town called Kadenberg in Germany, home to the German Museum of Concrete. Also a great experience, but hard to tell that to the people at home. So we wrote this song about that, and that's why the chorus to this goes, the picture don't do it justice. If you could see the things I see, don't need to hear about it secondhand. Be there if you care to come along with me. Drove down a road this morning. The sun was at my back. I curved down to the cold, clear water, past a rundown fishing shack. Across the bay, the autumn leaves had turned the hills to flame, and a small bird fluttered by. And as it did, it called your name, and maybe we could rent a boat and drift across the sunlit bay. You wrapped up in your winter coat, just to keep the wind away. Spend the afternoon doing nothing. When the sun goes down, light a fire and drink some wine. Slowly drive back into town. The picture don't do it justice. If you could see the things I see, don't need to hear about it secondhand. You'll be there if you care to come along with me. Driving into a city at night, every street has got a name. Reminds me of a place I've been. It all begins to look the same, but underneath the banners and the lights, my mind begins to change. The hum I feel in the center of town is calling out your name, and I wish that you could tag along or sit beside me at a restaurant. I'm drinking whiskey till 4 in the morning, singing harmony on a karaoke song. Everything from Prince to Belafonte, getting the words all wrong, belting it out without a care, going on and on and on. The picture don't do it justice. If you could see the things I see, don't need to hear about it secondhand. Be there if you care to come along with me. Justice. If you could see the things I see, no need to hear about it secondhand. Be there if you care to come along with me. Thank you. I've been lucky enough to go over a few times to play some gigs in Genoa with my good friend Beppe Gambetta. I don't know if you know Beppe, great Italian flat picker. And he does these yearly concerts in his hometown of Genoa called Acoustic Night, and I've been invited along to do a couple of them. And the last one I was at was sort of a special occasion because he brought together a couple of writers from a couple of different languages in order to translate the works of a guy by the name of Fabrizio de Andre, and I'm willing to bet that there's nobody in this room who knows who Fabrizio de Andre is. But Fabrizio, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, he was basically Italy's equivalent of Bob Dylan. Sold millions and millions of records, played huge halls, sold out shows, but outside of Europe, very few people know him. And Beppe wanted to see if by having some of the songs translated that we might not be able to get Fabrizio's work a little better known. So this is one of the songs I translated for the Fabrizio thing. And one of the things I learned about translating another writer's work is that it's like being a songwriter with somebody else's brain, because everything else is there, you know, like the melody and the rhythm and you know, the images and the metaphors and stuff, they're all there. But if you translate them straight across, like from the Italian to the English, it doesn't work, because the meaning of the line may be there, but it doesn't have the rhythm that it needs, or you know, it doesn't have the rhyming. And being an Italian songwriter is one of the easiest things in the world, I think, because everything rhymes. You know, it's da 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 oro, da 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 doro, da 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 moro. It's all regular endings, so you can make everything rhyme. It's a bit of a cheat, really. And you also have to look out for, so, you know, you're bringing stuff across into English, and then you have to massage it. And Fabrizio knew this, because he translated a bunch of Leonard Cohen songs into Italian. And Fabrizio had said that the thing about translating another writer or another artist is that the best you can hope for is to get as close as you can to the metaphor, right? And you have to watch out for idiomatic things. You know, like one of the other songs that I was translating, not this one, but one of the other ones, the first line, when you translated it straight across from the Italian into the English, it started as, I will start with the moon in the sky, and then I finished the rest of the line as, you know, like, and rivers of ink running dry. But it was so perfect, the translation, that first little bit, that I was suspicious of it. And so I went to Beppe and I said, is this idiomatic? Like, I will start with the moon in the sky. Am I translating that right? Or is it one of those things that actually just means something else? He says, oh yes, he says, that's a Genovese idiom. And I said, well, what's the closest English equivalent to that? He said, oh, the closest English equivalent to that would be once upon a time. That in general, when you tell a story to your kids, you don't start at once upon a time. You say, I will start with the moon in the sky. And I thought that was amazing. So in this song, however, that was in another song. In this song, the title of the song is La Cattiva Strada. And when you translate that straight across, it means the bad road, which doesn't sound all that attractive. And I thought that getting closest to the metaphor would be to take that into the English idiom, which would be the road to ruin. And this song is about a trickster that drops into people's lives. And he finds a way into their psyche and then basically screws them up. And then goes waltzing off down the road, and they follow him. It's very Italian. And so this is La Cattiva Strada, the road to ruin. It goes like this. At a military parade, he spat in the face of a young recruit. The soldier told him, that's disgusting. He said, not compared to what you'll do, but anyway, I should be going. And the young recruit he followed, laid his weapons down and followed along that crooked road to ruin. Down behind the railway station, in the darkness, in the rain, he stole some woman's money He said, you've done that on the game, and anyway I should be going. And the working girl she followed, wrapped in her sorrow, oh, she followed along that crooked road to ruin. On a night without a moon, he moved the stars to different places. And when the pilot crashed the plane, he said, you died by your own mistake, and anyway I should be going. And the pilot, oh, he followed, left the stars behind and followed. Sulla, sua cattiva strada. For a young man on the bottle, he poured another drink. And as he watched him down it, he said, I know just what you're thinking, that it's time that I should go. And the drunkard understood, said nothing, and he followed along that crooked road to ruin. At a trial of star-crossed lovers, he kissed each juror then and there, and to their blushing faces he said, now it's more natural, now it's just, it's open-minded, it's just, and it's so clear that I should go. And the jurors, oh, they followed, open-mouthed they rose and followed. Sulla, sua cattiva strada. And when at last he vanished, to those that called him good and to those that called him evil, he said it should be understood, don't follow where I go, 'cause each will get a little love, and each will have love of their own. Along that crooked road to ruin, each will get a little love, and each will have love of their own. Sulla, sua cattiva strada. Second hand. It's just a letter. Sometimes I leave it there in the November air for a day or two. Don't want to let it come in, 'cause when I do, that's when the heartache begins. Why am I still paying for his sins? What's he paid lately? It's just a letter. As I unfold it, my hands shake as I hold it. The grief washes over me. I try to turn back the tide, and all the feelings I've dammed up inside, all the parts of me that have died. When will I get free? Because it's always the same, a request for parole. And that bastard's name, it shatters my soul. Would I like to submit a victim's account? 3 decades of pain, could I put it all down? It's just a letter. Every year I write the board back and relive the attack like it's yesterday. And I let them know of the wreckage that won't let me go, of the wish that I'll never outgrow, that I hope he dies in there. Then I walk to the corner and I send it away. It'll land on some desk in a couple of days. What happens then is anyone's guess. In the scales of justice, is it more, is it less? No, it's just a letter. Thank you. Yep. Yep.
Ready?
I've been taking stock and I've been taking time. I've been thinking about the ones I left behind. One step for the future, another for the past. Been steady walking, enjoying, going nowhere fast. What's for you won't go by you if you just take it slow. Keep one eye on the sky and keep one on the road. I've been thinking about the ones that can't be here. Every drop I'm drinking seems to draw them near. One shot for my father, another for my son. One to keep the ghosts at bay till the new day comes. What's for you won't go by you if you just take it slow. Keep one eye on the sky, keep one on the road. I've been walking this highway, I've searched high and low. Seems that I'll find something everywhere I go. One's the hand of friendship, one's the open door. One's the joy of never knowing what I'm headed for. What's for you won't go by you if you just take it slow. Keep one eye on the sky and keep one on the road. What's for you won't go by you if you just take it slow. Keep one eye on the sky and keep one on the road. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's Mr. David Woodhead over here on the bass. Well, we've gotten like well past the center point of that first set, and I haven't made you sing yet. Very un-Keelaghan concert thing to do, so the time has come. I've played this one many times when I've come down here before, so some of you will know it, some of you may be new and don't know it, but the chorus is easy to pick up on. But if you don't sing, you're not getting out. If you sing really well, we'll pack you in the van, we'll drive you up to Toronto tomorrow.
Uh-oh.
This is a song of unrequired love. A moonlit shadow cut by burning trees. Corey's on the other side. Fine gray mare beneath me, but up to my knees. Corey's on the other side. Red rivers rising, red rivers rising. Corey's on the other side. That's your part. Red rivers rising, red rivers rising. Corey's on the other side. Corey's on the other side. Well, now Thomas Scott, it took the lead. We rode to Portage Town. Corey's on the other side. Beatty riders on our tail, and soon they rode us down. Corey's on the other side. Red rivers rising, red rivers rising. Corey's on the other side. Red rivers rising, red rivers rising. Corey's on the other side. Corey's on the other side. Now the clouds above the stockade wall were heavy with the snow. Corey's on the other side. The muffled drums beat out the time, and Thomas was laid low. Corey's on the other side. Red rivers rising, red rivers rising. Corey's on the other side. Red rivers rising, red rivers rising. Corey's on the other side. Corey's on the other side. She's on the other side. Corey's on the other side. Wore a rose in her hair just like the Spanish ladies do. Corey's on the other side. Red rivers rising, red rivers rising. Corey's on the other side. Red rivers rising, red rivers rising. Corey's on the other side. Red rivers rising, red rivers rising. Corey's on the other side. Corey's on the other side. She's on the other side. Thank you. Well sung. That's warmed it up a little bit. Yeah. We'll take it right back down now. But this another song off the new CD, and when I was talking about the story songs, and when Chuck was talking about the story songs, one of the ways that I work out the story songs is to find a story that I like, that I want to tell in a song, and then I tell the story to friends repeatedly, like 20, 30 times to various different people in the car, around the dinner table, until I've condensed in the act of retelling the story condenses down to its essential points, and it makes it much easier for me to sort of focus in. Because I've done shows. I've appeared at writers' conferences, you know, with people who write novels and books and stuff, and I'll be on a panel with them, and it's like, they write these characters that last for like 400 pages. My characters last for 5 minutes, right? So I take these stories, and some of the stories I write are from books that I've read. Cold Missouri Waters, which I'll play next set, comes from I knew the story before, but after reading Norma MacLean's book, Young Men and Fire, I condensed the whole book down into 5 minutes, which I think pissed him off a bit. But that's what I do. I'm sort of the Campbell soup guy. I condense things.
That's milk, isn't it?
Well, there is condensed milk, but most of the soups are also condensed if you read the labels.
Oh.
So I don't know where we're going with this. So I have this story that I'm still trying to write about the British, or the liberation of Genoa at the end of the Second World War, and an amazing story that hasn't been told over here a lot. But I was on maybe my 19th telling of it to I was telling my brother Bob about it, and Bob said, "That is a really great story. I can't wait to figure out where you're going to tell it from." And he says, "But you should call the song 'The Benefits of Surrender." And I went, "Actually, that's a really great idea." And so I went away and I started writing The Benefits of Surrender, and it ended up having absolutely nothing to do with the liberation of Genoa at all. So I got a bonus song out of it, but when I get around to writing the song about Genoa, it's going to have to have a whole different title now. But this is the song that I wrote thinking about the benefits of surrender, because we live in this culture, and certainly here in this country, starting to be that way in Canada, and it's uncomfortable that we live in this culture where it's fight all the time. It is never give up your position. It is dig in and stay in that hole until you are completely overrun, and then even after you're overrun, stay in that hole, right? We have no appreciation of surrender. And I started to think about how much more different my life would have been had I surrendered more, had I surrendered to music, had I surrendered to art, had I surrendered to literature, had I surrendered to love. My life could have been vastly different, and so this is the benefits of surrender. Lately I I've strayed from the ways I had charted, estranged from my allies, I've wandered alone. I've been building walls instead of hanging windows, hunkered down and hidden, I've been living in limbo. Lately I've spent too much energy fighting the love I've been offered, I find hard to receive. And I've been being tough instead of being tender, taking way too much when I should have rendered. I've been pushing back when I should be giving in. Brittle and hard, I can't bend with the wind. And I've been making do when I could have had splendor, if I could accept the benefits of surrender. Lately I've thought I am not where I should be, when I could be living the here and the now. I've been in my head instead of being open, on the edge of giving up, but I am still hoping. I've been holding fast when I should be seeding ground, knowing that what goes out may yet come around. And I've been making do when I could have had splendor, if I would accept the benefits of surrender. We'll play one more for you this set, and then we'll take a bit of a break. We both have CDs for sale out there, and we'd gladly point you in the right direction. And are there refreshments? Yes, good. It can't be a full concert without snacks. There must be snacks. And leave you this set with a sing-along. This is a song I co-wrote with my good friend Catherine McClellan, who wanted to write a song that was a tune for our times. And so we wrote a marching tune because we kind of figured that in our future there was going to be a lot of marching, and it turned out we weren't very wrong in that. And
Yeah.
I think he needs to pull that down just a bit. And it's got a part you can sing on it. It's got a part you can sing on it. Right on. Excellent. And what you sing is walk on. Want to try that? 2, 3, 4. Walk on. Excellent. Once more. 2, 3, 4. Walk on. Fantastic. Whole chorus goes, walk on. Better days are coming. Walk on. You don't have to walk alone. Hold on to the things you believe in. Keep on walking till we all get home. So walk on, hold on, keep on. And you can also, do the feet if you want, a little bit of a marching tune. And We'll see you before, during, and after the break. 1, 2, 3. I know sometimes you're feeling tired. Many days you feel all alone. But on the streets there are people marching. Pick yourself up now and come along. One step forward and 2 steps back. Many days, that's how it goes. But now I'm talking about a new tomorrow. Stand up, buddy, let's hit the road. Walk on, better days are coming. Walk on, you don't have to walk alone. Hold on to the things you believe in. Keep on walking till we all get home. You wanna rise, but you feel held down. You wanna move, but you're stuck in place. I know it's dark and it's getting darker. Stand up, sister, pick up the pace. Walk on, better days are coming. Walk on, you don't have to walk alone. Hold on to the things you believe in. Keep on walking till we all get home. Walk on, better days are coming. Walk on, you don't have to walk alone. Hold on to the things you believe in. Keep on walking till we all get home. Walk on, better days are coming. Walk on, you don't have to walk alone. Hold on to the things you believe in. Keep on walking till we all get home. Keep on walking till we all get home. Keep on walking till we all get home. Thank you much. We'll see you after the break.
Hello again, and welcome back. What an outstanding first set. Can we get another round of applause for James and David? Wow. That was pretty incredible. So I know we want to hear some more music, but there's a couple housekeeping things we need to take care of. One, the first thing I want to do is I'm going to draw a name out of here, and the winner, who will be the name on this slip, the winner is going to be awarded 2 tickets to the next show we have in this venue, which I am super excited about. Last summer, my wife and I had the privilege of seeing this group at the Shaolin Lu venue in Rockport, Massachusetts. If you've seen the movie Coda, you've seen the hall. It's the most amazing concert venue you'll ever see. The whole back wall is a 3-story window looking out on the cove behind the place. It's amazing. The group, though, is wild. 3 fiddles, the Nordic Fiddlers Block. Just go to our website, focusmusic.org. There's a clip there, and you'll be here. On the 23rd, if your name is on this slip of paper, a quick shout out to our Senator Cheryl Keelaghan. Those of you who live here in Maryland know that this is our legislative session season, and the fact that she is here is miraculous because they work there. Never mind, I won't go there. But Senator, is your name in here? No. Then please reach in and pick one.
Apparently didn't set her clock right.
All right, it's not an election year because everybody else would then be mad at me. And I can't read this. Liat Sylvester, Linda Silversmith. Yay! And she's a constituent and a neighbor.
Perfect. Whoa! Linda Silversmith. We'll see you on the 23rd. I think that's just the, those are the tickets. That's a receipt for something else you don't need. Okay. Now I'd like to just take another moment and introduce Jillian Matundin, our new Focus president. Jillian?
Thank you, Michael. Hi, everybody. I just wanted to take a minute to say thank you for joining this Sunday, but also to tell you about some of the shows that we have coming up. So we have Honestly Soul in Columbia, Lara Hershowitz and Juliet Lloyd in Gaithersburg on April 15th. We have the Nordic Fiddlers Block here. We'll see you there. Lo-Fi Dolly in Columbia, and then we have in June 17th, and then we have Joan and Joni in Columbia on November 18th. So you can find all that information at focusmusic.org. I wanted to take a second to say that I'm excited to be partnering with Focus and to be taking on this role. We have a lot of things that we're trying to do, so if you are not a member, we hope that you might consider being one. We also need volunteers all the time, so please help us put on shows like this. And also, we're open to any suggestions that you might have. We're really trying to do some new things in the coming year, and so we are open to your feedback. Thank you so much for spending your evening with us, and we'll get back to the show. Have a good one.
And now, James and David.
My name is Dodge, but then you know that 'Cause it's written on the chart there at the foot end of the bed. They think I'm blind or I can't read it. Well, I've read it every word, and every word it says is death. So confession, is that the reason that you came? Get it off my chest before I check out of the game. Since you mention it, well, there's 13 things I'll name. 13 crosses high above the cold Missouri water. August 49, West Montana. The hottest day on record. The forest turned dry. Lightning strikes in the mountains. I was crew chief at the jump base. I prepared those boys to fly. Pick the drop zone. C-47 comes in low. Feel the tire upon your leg that tells you go. And see the circle of that fire down below. Yeah, 15 of us dropped above the cold Missouri water. Engage the fire, yeah, I'd seen bigger. So I ordered them to Side Hill, and we'd fight it from below. We'd have our backs to that river. Yeah, we'd have it licked by morning, even if we took it slow. But the fire crown jumped the valley just ahead. There was no way down. We headed for the ridge instead. Too big to fight it. We'd have to fight that slope instead. Flames one step behind above the cold Missouri water. The sky had turned red. The smoke was boiling. 200 yards to safety, death was 50 yards behind. I don't know why, I just thought it. I struck a match to waist-high grass, we were running out of time. I tried to tell them to step into this fire I've set. We can't make it, this is the only chance you'll get. But they cursed me, ran for the rocks above instead, and I lay face down and prayed above the cold Missouri water. And when I rose like the phoenix, that world reduced to ashes, there were none but two survived. And I stayed that night. But one day after, I carried bodies to the river, wondering how I'd stayed alive. 13 stations of the cross to mark their fall. Had my say, I'll confess to nothing more. I'll join them now, those that left me long before. 13 crosses high above the cold Missouri water. 13 crosses high above the cold Missouri shore. I long to see you away. Take a walk under my skies, trying to see it once the way I do. If you look out through my eyes, you'll find a different point of view. Everything changes, every fact wears some disguise. Cast off your troubles, take a walk under my sky. Not one rule since you've been born that's not been tattered and has not been torn. Not one thing you cared about that's not been darkened by the shadow of doubt. Hard time. Take a walk under my skies, trying to see it once the way I do. If you look out through my eyes, you'll find a different point of view. Everything changes, every fact wears some disguise. Cast off your troubles, take a walk under my sky. Not one dream you can hold that's not been bought and has not been sold. Not one pain that you can make. It's like a thirst you can never slake. Hard time. Take a walk under my skies, trying to see it once the way I do. If you look out through my eyes, you'll find a different point of view. Everything changes, every fact wears some disguise. Cast off your trouble, take a walk under my sky. Hard time. Hard time. Hard time. Thank you. Thank you very much. We've been remiss. We haven't welcomed. There's people out there on the stream, as it were, and we just wanted to say hi to them. Yeah, go ahead. Hi. Anything you guys want to hear?
Put it in the chat? Is that the way it goes?
This is another song on the new CD. Another co-write with Cara Luft, and this song came out of a writer's house that happens at the Celtic Colours Festival. They've only ever done it twice, and if you ever have a chance to go to the Celtic Colours Festival in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, you should go. Michael, what happened? When did you go? Oh, when it was streamed. No, you have to go there.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Yeah, because it happens in the fall. It happens 10 days over the Canadian Thanksgiving weekend, which happens in October because we have to get Thanksgiving in before we start complaining about the snow and the cold. And they use all the small halls. I'll just do a quick commercial for them, but they use all the small halls and stuff all over the island, So from Bouladrie to Descous, all these places, and you're in these little community halls, and especially if you go on that first weekend, this is the hot tip, go on the first weekend, because that's the Thanksgiving weekend, right? And pretty well every venue, the ladies of the village or the town cook a Thanksgiving dinner, right? And as a performer, when you go that first weekend, because you're going to play every night, you get actually 3 Thanksgiving dinners over the course of the weekend, and the cooking is outrageous. But it's in the community, and you get to know the community in a really intimate way. Anyway, they've twice now they've done this songwriters' house, and I've been involved each time. And what they do is they take 6 songwriters, and they secret us away in a location, and we have 6 days to write 2 new sets of material, so somewhere between 14 and 16 songs. And then those songs are presented on the 7th night at a big venue. No pressure at all. But you know, by the time the writers get to about Wednesday of the week, it's like all the sourdough that I call it, all the sourdough that we brought to the writing session, all the little pieces of melody or lyric or rhythm or song ideas. By Wednesday, most of those have now evaporated into other songs, condensed, if you will, into other songs. And so on Wednesday, the writing starts to take a bit of a turn, and people walk in. Cause I was lucky enough to be the den father one year. Carrie and Paul was the den mother the first year. I was the den father the second year. And you set up a rota so that everybody gets a chance to write one-on-one with everybody, and then you also do some group stuff. So on this day, it was Kara's and my turn to write, and she walked into the room, and I said, well, what do you want to write about? And she said, well, I want to write one of those As I Roved Out of a Morning Fair songs. And I thought, that's a good final folk tradition. And she said, yeah, but I in the song, I don't want the person to fall in love with another person. I want them to fall in love with the land. And Kara and I are both from Alberta, so you can guess where that went. And so this is that. And it's sort of the dark side of 4 Strong Winds. I walked out of a morning fair, these rocky mountains shining, shadows drift o'er frost-covered hills, colors all golden tan, crystal river through the valley ran. No one's ever owned me, it's the first time ever I've been claimed. Alberta's her name. I sat down, I wrote to you. I said you should be coming. You're never gonna see a sky so blue. And drapes of green in a northern sky wave like flags, and the stars dance by. Never thought I'd say it, she won my heart, it's easy to explain. Alberta's her name. Not be coming. The skies back home for you are plenty blue. The emerald hills and a rocky shore are all you need. You want no more. You learn to love another. Our hearts are true, but if we must lay blame, Alberta is your name. You who wander far in search of rest and comfort, where you can find no solace where you are. Keep your eyes wide and remember me. This ain't the place I thought I'd be. That's how it goes with romance. One breath of her, you'll never be the same. Alberta is her name. Alberta is her name.
Alrighty.
Easy credit, no money down. That's the way that we built this town. On a banker's ledger, we watched it rise. A house of cards and a pack of lies. A house of cards and a pack of lies. Rung by rung, we raise the stakes. You bend the rules, then the ladder breaks. We'd all get wealthy, but would we ever get wise? The house of cards and a pack of lies. Come on! A house of cards and a pack of lies. Sold you plastic, then took your ace with suits and ties and a joker's face. And now there's nowhere left to hide but a house of cards and a pack of lies. A house of cards and a pack of lies. Times were easy, we did the deal. We placed our bets and they spun the wheel. And we should have known that there was no prize but a house of cards and a pack of lies. A house of cards and a pack of lies. Smoke and mirrors, then a market crash. They burnt it down to stone and ash and lit the fires of our own demise. The house of cards and the pack of lies. A house of cards and the pack of lies. We bought that dream and we sold it on, but it ain't worth nothing now the money's gone. The only shelter that credit buys is a house of cards and a pack of lies. A house of cards and a pack of lies.
Thank you. Tender to those endings.
Sinatra, carnivals,
Oh, mhm.
Sinatra.
Yeah, okay, yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, I read, like I say, I read a lot of story songs, and
Everything okay? Oh. Oh, Glory Band.
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
okay.
Oh, that's a new one, yeah.
Well, that's we'll put that back. We'll pair it
Yep.
up with
Okay.
down there.
Yep.
And where's Dale from? Yeah. Anyway, so I write story songs, and sometimes people have requests for songs that I haven't written yet, and somebody was looking over my material and noticed that I didn't have any songs about dogs. So they wanted me to write a song that had a dog in it, and they were very familiar with my material. They requested that the dog not die. So there is no dog death in the song. An oil refinery in New Jersey blows up in the first verse. Couldn't help myself. But there is no death, dog or otherwise. And this is the warning to you: do not tell me anything about your life that you would not like to be in a song. Especially you, Senator. Because I will plunder your life for story material, because I figured out, I knew I wanted to write this song about a blue-eyed dog, because I had an encounter with about 100 sled dogs while I was thinking about this song up at Lake Louise in Banff National Park. And so I knew I wanted to be about this blue-eyed dog, but I had no idea how to get the song started. And then I remembered a story that a friend of mine, Lark Clark, had told me about how she ended up on the west coast of Canada, because she was raised on Staten Island. She woke up one morning to a fireball rising above her window, and indeed an oil refinery across the river in New Jersey had blown up, and she thought, well, time to go. And she got into her car with what little possessions she had and started driving, and did not stop until she got to the Queen Charlotte Islands, Haida Gwaii, on the west coast of Canada. So I ripped off that part of her life. The rest of the story is all invented, but I ripped off that part of her life. And so yeah, don't tell me anything about yourself, because you could end up in a song. So a song about a blue-eyed dog and how it got its name. There's a strange tale between us, a twisted road winding between you and I was living in a garret on the edges of Staten. I was lying in bed, looking out at the night. The gray sky exploded, fire rained down. Some refinery in Jersey that burned to the ground. Call me superstitious, I called that a sign. I packed up the van, I headed out for the line. I wandered for months, it was gorgeous, but somehow I didn't know what I was trying to find. The last days of summer found me crossing the border. I was feeling quite lonely, quite out of my mind. And I stopped in Regina, my spirits were low. If I didn't do something, I was bound to explode. If I was gonna keep traveling, I needed a date. Rolled the van to a stop at the SPCA. There you sat curled up back in a corner, a face like a bandit and icy blue eyes. They opened the gate, you casually strolled out of the kennel and into my life. So it was that Sinatra and I went a-roving. Yeah, that's what I called him, because of his eyes. And it turns out as well, he's a pretty good singer, though he tends more to blues than to strangers at night. Old Blue Eyes beside me, we kept driving north. Near White Horse, the van finally gave up the ghost. Got a job at a cafe where Sinatra baked scraps. We're saving our money for spark plugs and maps. Some nights we have both got cabin fever. We'll go for a walk, old Sinatra and I. His nose on the ground, sniffing out possibilities. Me looking up to the dome of the sky. And I'd ask him to sit, but he'd pay me no mind. He'll do it his way, and I'll do it mine. That's why I like him. What's more, that's why I think there's a future for Sinatra and I. Thank you very much. Yeah. I got a call, this is about 10 years ago, I got a call from the University of Chicago Press asking if, for permission to reprint the lyrics for that song. And I said yes, and about 4 months later, I get in the mail a copy of a book called The Influence of Frank Sinatra on Pop Culture. I thought that was just the funniest thing ever. And the thing is, I guess not only just don't tell me stories about yourself, but actually don't be a friend to me. Because the dog in that song is actually modeled after a friend of ours. I needed the dog to have some kind of personality, and so there's a very good friend of ours, a poet by the name of Holmes Hook. And Holmes was the model for the dog. Because I recalled one time Holmes and I taking a long walk together at a festival through some woods. And we got to the end of the walk. He's Irish, is Holmes. And we got to the end of the walk. He says, well, that was typical. And I said, what? And he goes, well, me walking along looking at the ground, and you walking along looking up at the stars, he said. So that's where that whole thing in the song about his nose on the ground sniffing out possibilities, me looking up. So I guess really just don't hang around with me is what I'm saying. This is another song from the Writer's House, and co-write with Dave Gunning. Fantastic, yeah. Give it up for Dave. Fantastic songwriter, Dave, and. Same process. He walked into my room. I said, what do you want to write about, Dave? And without any hesitation whatsoever, he goes, I want to write a hanging song. I said, what? He says, I want to write a hanging song. And I said, a hanging song? And he goes, yeah. I said, like Long Black Veil, or like The Night Before Larry Was Stretched? because there's a lot of room in between those two. And when we ended up sort of coming up with this. I seem to have, over the course of the concert, I seem to have misplaced 2 thumb picks,
Ooh.
leaving myself with the 1 thumb pick that's actually broken. So I guess I'll have to play this without a thumb pick. You won't know the difference, though. Well, you will now. I could have just shut up about it, and you wouldn't have realized it all. It's interesting. Maybe I ate them. Anyway.
They were in the Homontaschen.
Anyway, you're, what did you say?
They were in the Homontaschen. They were maybe powdered in powdered form. We had all kinds of Homontaschen. It was beautiful, fantastic stuff.
Well, I think it's a great theory, but I used one of those thumb picks in the first set, so.
That was post-Homontaschen. Okay, I understand.
Anyway, so we wrote the Hangin' Song, and I was telling you about you do it in a big venue, and we did it in this big venue. We did the concert in the big venue in St. Andrews in Sydney. And 800 people packed to the rafters, all except the front row. And then when the concert started, when the concert was about to start, right on cue, in walks the Lieutenant Governor of the province, the Queen's representative, and her retinue, and they all take the front row seats, and then we play the concert, and of course the Hangin' Song, we'd set up the set before we knew the Lieutenant Governor was going to be there, so the Hangin' Song was actually the second last song in the first set. So we do the Hangin' Song, and we finish the first set, we go back into the green room, and they bring the Lieutenant Governor into the green room to meet the performers, and she made a beeline straight for Dave, and she clasps his hand like this, and she shakes his hand. I thought she was going to shake the hand right off, and she goes, "I never expected when I came in today that I'd be hearing a Hangin' Song." I was thinking, like, have I missed out on some kind of trend or something, or is she having some kind of nostalgic thought about when lieutenant governors maybe had a more authority than they had, and she missed the opportunity to hang anyone? Anyway, you're a lovely audience, and you're a folk audience, and you're very much into the stories and whatnot, and you're probably going to hold out some hope, but don't. It's a Hangin' Song. Okay. You're probably also the guy in the song. You're going to feel some sympathy towards him. He's a nice guy. He's a victim of circumstance, really, in a lot of ways, and you're going to sympathize with him, and you think that things are going to be different, but it's a Hangin' Song. That's all I'm saying. I don't want you to be in suspense. Right?
Ooch.
In a valley by the river, we had a little land. There wasn't much to speak of. What we had was by our hands, but the bankers took it from us. The end of 2 dry years, leaving nothing but the dust, watered by my mother's tears. With all the rage that burned inside me, I rode into that town. With my father's rifle, I shot that banker down. This isn't like the storybooks. There'll be no reprieve when they take me out before the morning sun. The judge was looking at me, and he brought the gavel down. It echoed off the pillars, by law, son, you are bound. And behind these iron bars, alone to face myself and the building of the scaffold outside my lonely prison cell. I can hear the hammers pounding, I can feel my blood awaken. 1,000 freight trains running through my mind. This isn't like the storybooks. There'll be no reprieve when they take me out to face the morning sun. Father said, son, I'll love you till the end. My mother turned and hid her face as the preacher man walked in. And he said, know that God will judge you, and know that you have sinned. Long shadow of the gallows spanned my prison cell, made a cross upon the preacher's back, hardened man's farewell. I can hear the footsteps coming now. They're right outside my door, and a single church bell ringing out of time. This isn't like the storybooks. Time has come and gone. They hang me out before the morning sun. My calloused hands behind me, like those fields in my memory. I'm looking out towards a new horizon. This isn't like the storybooks. Time has come and gone. They'll hang me out before the morning sun. Hang me out before the morning sun. Thank you. So for the streaming request here, we'll play another couple of tunes.
Oh.
And yet he's a hockey fan. How do I know this? Because the song's about hockey. And in a way. Use the tuner, because that'll get me truer. Every year on the prairies, we used to lose hockey players to blizzard conditions and black ice, and that's what inspired this tune. I was trying to figure out a way of writing it, and I got inspired by A.E. Hausman, to an athlete dying young, and that's sort of what inspired my approach to this. long and lean and tough. Level head and a steady hand and a wizard with the puck. And once across the blue line, oh, he never let you down. You could tell by the look in his cold black eyes, that boy was glory bound. Hometown to its feet with a goal in overtime. The scouts had pegged him, sure enough, it was just a matter of time. If there was any justice in this world, he'd be picked in the second round. 'Cause he had the goods, there was no denying that boy was glory bound. Afternoon before a game, I stopped by Johnny's place. My father's car and a feeling in my heart that night we'd take first place. There was something that he'd left behind, he'd fetch it back in town. I never dreamt it at the time that fate would strike him down. Mounties when he didn't show. Found him in a ditch between here and Shaunavon. Roof caved in and it's 50 below. Sirens wail and the blizzard blow. Johnny died young, but I grew old, and since that time I've come to think, when I see his name engraved on trophies or his picture in a case in a kinsman's ring, he somehow slipped the bonds of time. He's gained himself renown. I've started on that slow slide back, but he's forever glory bound. I've started on that slow slide back, he's forever glory bound. Here's one of the amazing things is that, like somebody will request a song and I have to pull it out of my head. That's all well and good, but I wrote it, so, and David might not have played that song in like a year.
Oh, more than that.
Or more than that.
A year goes back, yeah.
And look at that. Astounding to me. Oh,
It was in F, right?
it was in F.
Oh, good, I got that right.
And look, here's the thumb pick.
Oh, my God.
Right there.
That's clever.
It is clever.
That's
so it
clever,
is very clever to put it there.
Disguised as a guitar tuner.
Anyway, we would like to thank you all so very much for putting up with us this evening and coming out and making us feel so warm and welcome here in Rockville. And I'm really glad that now focus has moved around to a number of different venues over the years, but I have to say that this is a really, really warm and welcoming place to be. And Michael, thank you so much for hosting us here. This is a great place to be. Michael and Shirley's. And fantastic dinner by Shirley. Shelley. You're going in a song now. And that also is just such an amazing thing to come off a drive, to come into a venue and be so welcomed and to be fed and made to feel that way is just, you have no idea how that feels. No idea how that feels. And we'd also like to thank Rob for the fantastic sound.
Ta-da!
And Chuck and everybody else that works with Focus. Pardon me?
Abigail, nice. Video.
Yeah, those of you out in streaming land, you can clap now for Abigail, because... No, you can be louder than that. And many years ago, like a lot of musicians, if you're lucky, you have mentors in your life. You don't have to learn it all by yourself. And I was blessed to have a lot of different mentors as I was coming up, that taught me about the road, that taught me how to play, that taught me how to write and arrange. But the best piece of advice I ever got my entire life was from a legend of a Canadian musician, a guy by the name of Tommy Banks from my home province of Alberta. And Tommy told me once, he said, "James, always play with people who are better than yourself." And so I'd like you to put your hands together, please, for Mr. David Woodhead. And we'll end with this one, song inspired by Canada's largest mining disaster, because you got to go out on a high note. But it's got a part that you can sing. It's got a part you can sing. Fantastic. Michael, every time you're very enthusiastic, but you've done that several times during the concert. And you guys can't see it because he's at the back, but he'll go, "Yay!" And all I can think of when I see you do that is that ridiculous little piece of film or meme that was about 10 years ago. It's this family standing around a table and there's a punch bowl and they're all celebrating something, and they all go, and the little girl goes, "Yeah!" And she picks up the punch bowl and just smashes it on the ground. You're so enthusiastic. I love it. Have I embarrassed you now? You're walking away. Here's what you sing. I sing, "Say it don't go," and you sing, "Say it don't go." Should we try that once? To sing, "Say it don't go." Say it don't go. Fantastic. Hopefully it's not too long till we see you again. Hopefully there won't be a pandemic in between. Tie and labor, sweating cold from the womb of the pit, the smell of life they savor. And in that fine young man you'll find a wealth of broken dreams, as long and as dark and as black and as wide as the coal in the Hillcrest sea. Say it don't go, say it don't go down in the Hillcrest mine. Say it don't go, say it don't go down in the Hillcrest mine. It's one short step, you might leave this world behind. Say it don't go down in the Hillcrest. light of dawn. That mountain sometimes moves. That bodes ill for the morning shift. You know what you're gonna do. Don't go, my son, where the deep hole runs. When you're back in the mine on the hill, there's the dust in the dark and the gas don't get you. Then the goons of the bosses will say you don't go. Say you don't go down in the Hillcrest mine. Say you don't go. Say you don't go down in the Hillcrest mine. 'Cause it's one short step. You might leave this world behind. Say you don't go. Say you don't go down in the Hillcrest mine. And they say you don't go. Well, son, I'm gonna open up. Gonna have my say. You'll get no peace from the Hillcrest mine, except the peace of an early grave. Go out and work for the workers' rights, and work for the workers' needs. Don't stay down here to toll for your buck, be a tool for the owner's greed. Say you don't go. Say you don't go down the Hillcrest mine. Say you don't go. Say you don't go down in the Hillcrest mine. 'Cause it's one short step. You might leave this world behind. Say you don't go. Say you don't go down in the Hillcrest mine. And I say you don't go. Say you don't go down in the Hillcrest mine. And I say you don't go. Say you don't go down in the Hillcrest mine. 'Cause it's one short step. You might leave this world behind. Say you don't go. Say you don't go down in the Hillcrest mine. Thank you all so very much. That's David Woodhead. We'll see you next time. We're getting too old to run off and run back on.
It's too far. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, no.
E string and I can't. So you'll just have to give me a moment here to put a new string on. Should have been a smooth transition, just right out of the old, finish the song, leave the gig. But no. You're all very quiet, though.
It's fascinating. Yeah. This is how you do it.
You've never seen it done. Oh my God. Well, now here's the problem, is I left my reading glasses. Have you got your cheaters? Oh, good, because I can't. I worn glasses since I was like 6 years old, and then I had a retinal detachment a number of years ago, and I had the surgery, but the surgery created a cataract on my eye, and then they wouldn't operate on the cataract because they were saying, oh, it's not bad enough. But it was really starting to bug me. And I have a great family doctor in my hometown, and I was complaining to him about it, and he said, hey, no problem, I know a guy. So we went down to a clinic in Brockville and Ontario, and thank you, David.
You're welcome.
And when they examined, when the doctor examined my eye, he went, "Yeah, you know, yeah. I have this letter from Dr. Drummond, and yeah, of course, we'll operate on it." I went, "Great." And then I just had this question because I didn't know the mechanics of it, and I was going, "Okay, so like." When you operate on that eye, because what they actually put a new lens in. It's not like they're just doing LASIK or anything. They actually put a new lens in your eye. And I said, "So what happens then?" I said, "Because I don't have one eye where it's going to be near to 20/20, and then my other eye is just like the same eye I've had. So like when I get glasses, do I get glasses that have a faux lens over on this side, and then my regular prescription on that side?" And he goes, and he must have thought I was trying to pull something or something, because he said, "Well, here, let me have a look at the right eye." So he went and he had a look at the right eye, and said, "There's a bit of a cataract on that eye too." I said, "Really?" And he goes, "Normally we wouldn't worry about that one, but I have this letter from Dr. Drummond. So we'll do them both." So I went in and on one day, had them both done. But then I've discovered, because I thought I'm going to be without glasses, but no, I've actually got more glasses now. But they're all the cheaters, so that I can read close up and whatnot. Not to rub it in, but I want to make a point. You know what that cost me? 0. Just so you know. That comes out of my taxes. Now, my 2 boys, 17 and 13, living with a couple of adolescents. I thought originally they cost me nothing. They cost a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for coming. Did you get that? Whoever said they needed to see how it was done? Did you get that? Okay. Have a safe drive home, y'all. I can make out the belt of the hunter Orion. He's climbing the heavens, he's sweeping the skies, and I can tell by the stars in his glittering belt that it's time to start searching for how and for why. So many stars come and go, some names and some you know, some will remind me of you. So many things here and gone, some don't fit and some belong, some will remind me of you. And I can feel the north wind take a kick out the window, seeking the weakness it tries to come in. And I can tell by the flame of the flickering candle that it is succeeding. Now winter begins. So many winds come and go, some blow hard and some blow cold, some will remind me of you. So many things here and gone, some and some belong. Some will remind me of you. There's some part of you always will come through. Some small part of my day. Some part of me always longs to be, but just can't keep you away. And I can tell by the clock on the wall, time's advancing, it waits for no one. But this much I see, the time is a river, gone and we're flowing. We're rocking and rolling till we reach the sea. So many hours come and go, some go fast and some go slow. Some will remind me of you. So many things here and gone, some don't fit and some belong. Some will remind me of you. Yes, some will remind me of you. Thank you all very much. That's David Woodhead. This is Focus. We'll see you next time.
Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us tonight. As James said, drive safely going home. And remember, as you leave the synagogue parking lot, if you turn right, go light on the gas pedal. Or you're going to be sending the county some money, because they got cameras all over this place. Again, thanks very much. We'll see you again soon. Bye now.